What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Real Reds Talk, an authentic football fan channel made in Manchester. As always, it is me and Sam alongside each other on the show today, and we are switching things up just a little bit. We'll put it on the screen as we always do. Embumo frustrated, as well as a lot of Manchester United fans. You're not the only one, mate. We'll talk about that. I think it's Cameroonian coach has come out and spoken about him.
Yeah.
Diego Dalot has a new number. Now, that in itself isn't mega breaking news, but we want to discuss his future at at Manchester United and how he could fare next season. And also the biggest one, what everyone's come for, is Real Reds Roulette. And basically what that is I'll put the screen on just so you got a bit of a feel for it. There are probably around 11 to 14 questions on that wheel there, and they're all wildly different. Who had the worst hairstyle at Manchester United? Who was the most underrated player? Who was the best academy graduate? And so on and so forth. And we are going to spin that wheel and eliminate the questions, and me and Sam will go through those topics / questions, whatever you want to call it. But before we get to that, Sam, let's talk about the news. This Embumo situation's dragging on slightly. I know we varied slightly in opinions on this, so we don't need to get into that too much. But we had the Cameroonian assistant coach come out today, Ashu Cyprian Basong, and he mentioned that he'd been speaking to Embumo recently. He says obviously he's very frustrated with how long it's taken, but he's a professional and anticipates these things. I spoke to him about a week ago, and he's very calm with everything that is going on. But of course, he's already told them that he wants to go to Manchester United. He just wanted the two clubs to find an agreement. He's very grateful for an opportunity that he's been given by Brentford. We've seen Morgan Gibbs-White move today. I don't know if anyone else has seen that, but to Spurs for £60 million. I think it was a release clause, which I had no idea there was a release clause involved with that, so God knows what's gone on with that situation. Obviously, we've seen Ilanga, Madueke, João Pedro, all these moves happening. Yeah, there's been loads. Around the £50-60 million mark, all of them attacking players are considered in that kind of category. Is it at least getting frustrating for you? I know you're saying you're willing to be patient, but when you see deals like this, like Gibbs-White has just gone like that, which is, I would consider for Tottenham quite a pretty good fucking signing. It's all right.
Sorry,
Cat wants an opinion.
He's got an opinion on the Embumo deal. No, because like we just touched on, I had no idea Gibbs-White had a release clause. So, like the Cunha deal, because the Cunha deal got done like that, with a release clause, there's no negotiation, is there? It's just literally, that's the release clause, you pay it. And if the player wants to come, it's a done deal. So I suppose that's why that got done quickly. There was a lot of groundwork laid for Ilanga by Newcastle. Was it January they went in for him?
Yeah, they put in like a 40-odd million bid, wasn't it?
Yeah, so there's probably already some groundwork there ready, and he was probably already sort of looking at going, I could definitely go there. Like, that'd be interesting. So, yeah, I think there's different sort of circumstances. And then Ben Jacobs has come out, Muppeteers has come out today and basically said, Brentford are playing games, basically. Things have changed multiple times in United's eyes on like the add-ons and how achievable they will have to be. And that Brentford sort of trying to push United to pay more. We've seen this tactic from Ajax with Anthony. We saw that thing. We've seen it with Crystal Palace, with Wan-Bissaka, Leicester, with Harry Maguire. So people know United overpay, and this is what clubs do to us. Anytime we go in, it's not a release clause. This is what they're going to do to us. And until we stop overpaying, they're going to continue to do it. And this is the first difficult transfer we've come across under this new regime. So, of course, it's going to be the most difficult one to pull off because of the history and stuff like that. So once we get through this one, and I do think it'll get done, it should be then easier for the next ones. Obviously, we'll keep being tested and it'll keep being a United tax because there always has been and there always will be. But I think this one will set the precedent, and then the next one will go, well, they didn't cave in on Brentford. They didn't cave in on Branthwaite. Maybe they're not going to cave in on this next one. So as long as we continue not to overpay, it should get better.
Do you agree with Brentford for maybe pushing the asking price up from what it was initially at the start when you look at, the price that some of these players are going for?
Yeah.
You can kind of think, well, yeah, it makes sense. Maybe they are pushing towards 70 million. Is he worth 70 million?
I wouldn't put him at 70 million. I think that's a bit of an overestimation. Like people are saying, comparing him to Ilanga. I don't think Ilanga's worth 55 million, personally. Like, I wouldn't value him that high.
Yeah, I agree.
But it's a seller, it's a buyer's market. So, a seller's market, sorry. So, players will go for what the club is willing to pay, not what they might be valued at. That's
How much
it
did
works.
we sell Elanga for? It was 15. We got rid of him for
Something like that, yeah.
15 to Nottingham Forest.
How much is the sell-on clause? Is it like 30%?
20% is, so
20%?
we make
20%?
around 8 million quid, I believe, from
And
that
then
sale.
we've got, I think, Alvaro Fernandez, we get some out of that. And then that Maxiola Deli's going to somewhere. Like we sold
that'll
it
be
before.
smaller,
So
won't it? The amount.
I think it's 3 billion, so it's nothing to be sniffed at. So yeah, we've put these selling clauses for a reason. I think Donny's got one. I think Palistri's got one. I'm sure Zidane Iqbal's got one as well. So yeah, we've put them in for a reason because this is what they can do. They could like generate some money for us. But yeah, I think using other players as a barometer is, I understand it, but it's also not a pure science, because is Anthony an £85 million player? No. But
no,
we paid 85 million for
idiots in charge. That's why we did that.
Was Mason Mount worth 65 million or whatever we paid for him? No. But it's a seller's market. So the players valued on what they pay for him, not necessarily on the ability. So like, how much is Bruno worth based on his ability? It's over 100 million, isn't it? So but nobody's going to pay 100 million for Bruno at 31. So it's just, I don't agree with it as a barometer, but I understand why they do it, and I understand they want the most amount of money possible. I think Forest have gone in for Visser, haven't they? 25 million and been rejected, and Brentford want 50. Do you think Visser's worth 50?
Well, obviously the market can be skewed by a lot of different things. It can be skewed by output, by experience in the league, by age, like contract, literally everything. Can kind of mix it up. I think if you just look at him in isolation as a player last season, I mean, how many goals did he get? 18 goals this off for Brentford.
I think he was only like 1-2 behind Embumo.
Yeah, and what did Ollie Watkins get last season? Similar, right? Probably around that kind of area. And Villa are asking for, I think it's 60 million quid. I know Watkins more consistent basis, and that's where it gets a little bit dicey, doesn't it, in terms of going into that. But
he's also older as well, Watkins. He's 29.
Yeah.
Going
I think this is
30,
27, is there? Something like that?
Yeah, Embumo and Viss are like 26, 27, aren't they? So.
Yeah, slightly younger. So I get it, because obviously as a club, you're looking at it right, and you're thinking wingers at the moment in the Premier League who are decent. Let's just say decent, because I would put Madueke in that bracket. I think he's a good player. I would put all these players that have been linked in there, Elanga included. So they're all going for around 50 million quid. Even if you go back to when City bought Jeremy Doku, who wasn't prem-proven by any stretch of the imagination, bought him for 50 million. Newcastle bought Gordon for 60 million. That just seems to be the benchmark. So that's the benchmark. So why, if it's believed to be true, I know a lot of people say, why Napoli only offering 45 million for Garnacho? Yeah. I said the same thing to Shreyas. And people are going, yeah, just take it. It's like, well, no. Elanga's going for 55. He's going for 60. So why are we not saying, no, he's 60, 65 million? Look at his numbers. His numbers are comparable to anyone in the Premier League. He's 19 years old. Yeah. So why are we not demanding a top dollar for it? Why do we have to accept a lower price? Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. The market is like skewed, like you said. It doesn't make sense to me. Well, put it this way: if you flip that situation, and this is Napoli's academy product. I know we bought him from another team, but we've nurtured him in our academy and brought him up through the ranks. And this is a kid with the Puskas Award, scored in the FA Cup final, we've got caps for Argentina. Napoli aren't selling him 45 million. Not a fucking chance. Not a chance. Especially with their sporting director, not the sporting director, the president, sorry, who's... How much did Kvaratskhelia go for? Was it 80? Yeah, something like that. What a fucking player he is, though. But you know what I mean? Like, they plucked him from obscurity and he became a star at them. And then they sold him to PSG for a top dollar. We've done something similar with Garnacho. We've picked him as a youth player and we brought him to the top stage in the Premier League, Champions League, blah, blah, blah. He scored a bunch of goals, fantastic goals, and he's still 19. Why is he only rated at 45 million? Like, that's ridiculous. Yeah, I agree. We need to get more for him, but it makes it difficult, doesn't it, with the situation with Garnacho. Yeah, if you are just joining us, whether you watch this live or watch this later on, a quick reminder, do stick around for Real Reds Roulette. We've got some belting questions on there. We're going to spin it and then eliminate each question one by one. And like I said, there's some really funny questions in there, so everyone get involved in that as well, and we can have a conversation about it. Because news is a little bit dry. We spoke about Embumo, which I'll read comments on now, and then we'll speak about Diego Dalot as well. Andy Williams, I can't talk about specific names, but we've been planning for many months, considering different scenarios. We're clear about where to invest. We'll execute that plan. That was Omar Barado, I'm guessing a couple of months ago. Liam Jones, in answer to the title of the video, John Terry, easy. It's funny, I saw a clip of John Terry the other day. Neville was watching, I don't know if you saw it, watching back the Champions League final with him, alongside him, and he's going through that penalty. And it just looks like Neville wants to, like, laugh a little bit odd. Because he's, like, almost getting in tears about it. He was like, oh, I was staying in the hotel room.
He was in the tears on pitch, wasn't he?
Yeah,
After the final.
Like, distraught. Obviously, they went on and won it, didn't they, when the Drogba scored that goal. But, yeah, I just thought it was funny. The teams that were better than us now are strengthening. Genuinely, I have no words how this overpay thing is coming about. We are 15th. The people think we're going to get petty deals because we get crap. The market is inflated so much generally than with United tax on top. It's ridiculous. Liam saying the only other team in allegedly for Embumo was Tottenham. Now they have signed Kudus and Gibbs-White. What leg did Brentford have to stand on? The match ain't mathing. Well, the thing is with that though, if Vissa goes, they're not going to sell both players. So if we wait about and we're like, and ahhing, and then Vissa gets sold, it's going to make it even more difficult. So
if I think they would sell them both, but only for like a lot of money, like a shit ton of money. So yeah, United have to get a skate on and get this deal sorted before Forest decide to pay 50 million for Vissa.
Yeah. It's an interesting situation over the next couple of weeks. I'm sure we'll have some form of movement. I'd be surprised if not. So let's see what happens with that. On Diego Dalot, Sam, he's got a brand new number at the club. Number 2 for Manchester United, wore by Gary Neville, Wes Brown. Guys who've won titles and Champions Leagues and got assists in Champions League finals in Wes Brown's case. I mean, Gary Neville tries to claim the assist for the 99 goal, where it's like kind of the assist, he said. I think.
He's being generous to himself, I think.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, just expectations for Diego Dalot going into this season, because he is a player, I won't say who divides opinion, because I think quite a lot of United fans are they're all at one with their opinion of him. He definitely needs to improve, but what are your expectations for him, and do you actually think he has improved over the past couple of years?
I think the positives about him, he's one of the best examples of work rate and ethic and being available. Like, he's always available. His attitude and his personality seems spot on. You never hear about any trouble with him. Ronaldo's praised it. Bruno's praised it. Stuff like that. So it seems like behind the scenes he's well liked. He puts the work in. He grafts, and he's not injury prone. So they're all really good positives. There was a period, wasn't there, where he looked fantastic. I think it was just before the World Cup.
Ragnick, you on about?
Qatar?
Most improved under Ragnick, or after that?
Before Qatar.
Yeah, you're right.
He had a really good run and he got injured, didn't he? And then when he came back, Wan-Bissaka took his spot, didn't he, on the right-hand side. And he was just sort of, after he came back, he was never the same. And then he's just been inconsistent at best. I don't think he offers enough going forward. I think he switches off at the back at times. The amount of times at the back post, how many times have we been caught out by the back post because Dalot doesn't track his man, and it ends up being in the back of the net. So I think he's at fault for that quite a lot. And then is the 2 on his back for the number of crosses he puts into the box, because he never fucking does that either. Like, every single time, just put the ball in the box and he cuts it back. He's always the first thing you think, he gets forward and then he turns and then he cuts back every time. Like, there's never a ball into the box, there's never one forward. So I don't think he's good enough for United. I don't think he is, but he's obviously going to stay. He's got a new number 2. Amram obviously rates him. I think he signed a contract either last year or the year before, brand new deal, so he's not going anywhere. You got to hope that with an improved forward line in front of him, say Embumo does come in and plays on that right hand side, or Ahmad plays in that 10, maybe a decent midfielder comes in. Maybe you see some sort of improvements for him. maybe he does improve because he is capable of it. But I don't rate him. I think we need a better wing back. But obviously, we've got other priorities in a minute: striker, midfielder, and possibly a goalkeeper. So I think that can wait. But yeah, for me, he's not the right wing back I'd have personally.
It's weird with Dalot because when I watch him in games, I think some of his best ability is he doesn't play to his own strengths almost. Like I've seen him cross the ball. He's a really good. I remember against Brighton with his left foot, put it in for Ahmad. Like he's got that kind of whipping action for across, and he just doesn't seem to. Especially when you're at wing back as well. Like the demands on a wing back in Amorim's system, you've got to be bombing forward and taking on your. Like Dorgu does it quite well, and he's been unfortunate to not get as many assists. He's not as strong and as athletic as Dorgu. But I think technically he's pretty good. You've seen him score some bangers for United as well. Yeah. I think with Dalot, the main thing for me and the main worry for me is more so his kind of mentality at times. He seems, which is weird to say because he's so focused and dedicated, like you said, with his training and application. But on the pitch, he seems so flaky at times. Like you see him pass the ball out at an easy opportunity where he's being pressed a little bit. Things like that he needs to work on. And as a player who's, I believe, he's probably about 26 years old now. Yeah. It's not like we're not working with a young kid anymore, you know?
He should be in his peak right now. He should be hitting his absolute top form. And I haven't seen it. Luke Shaw's the same. When Luke Shaw's on it, he's got all the stuff to be a top player. But then there's times where he'll just switch off and completely lose where he is and completely lose his man or the ball and stuff and just make a horrendous mistake. And you're just like, for fuck's sake, like, it just seems to be a thing with certain defenders. Maguire's culpable of us as well. He's done it. It just seems to be a United defender thing. Like they switch off at and you can't, as a defender for United, you cannot switch off at any point. Like you can't because it will cost you a goal.
Yeah. T2's used the perfect word to describe it. Brain fart. That is the perfect word. That's what he has. Onana does it. Maguire does it. Dalot does it. There's loads of players who did it. Even McTominay and Fred were kind of criminal for it when they were playing in the midfield. Quite a lot, especially Fred. So, yeah. Right. Let's dive in. Unless you had anything else to say on Dalot, Sam. Are we good to move?
No.
Yeah, let's dive into this Real Reds Roulette then, which is on your screen right now. We're going to spin the wheel, of course, and whatever question it lands on, we shall go through it. So whatever your thoughts and feelings are on it, get it in the comment section, and I will read it out. Let's try the first spin. And let's see what question we get. Obviously, you're behind on the thing, Sam, so I'll let you know.
Yeah, you read the question out for me.
Ooh, which was that? Most clutch player. That's what we're going for. Most clutch player.
Bruno Fernandes, done it?
Of all time at United? Would you go with Bruno?
Oh, all time. Sorry, all time. Ooh. All time.
I mean, Bruno, I've for sure. I mean,
Bruno's
obviously in the conversation.
Bruno's got to be in the conversation. Rooney?
Wayne Rooney, for sure.
He's got to be in the conversation.
Yeah.
I think Rooney might be the one. Like, the amount of times he's dug us out of a hole or scored an important goal or, like, dragged the team by the scruff of the neck. Roy Keane, you could put in that as well, I think, another clutch player.
Yeah.
I'll go Wayne Rooney. That'll be my pick.
That's fair. I will go with Cristiano Ronaldo. I think Cantona deserves a shout, obviously, but I was born in 95. You remember more of Eric Cantona than I do. Yeah. But I think about Ronaldo in the Champions League final, which is such a close game, where he scores that unbelievable header. And then I think about not only just that, when he came back, do you remember how many times, Sam, in that under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, when Atalanta, Villarreal, last minute, every single time he was delivering. Obviously, it didn't work out the fairy tale ending, but he's arguably the most clutch player in the world, I would say. I'd put that up against anyone.
Also, last season, you got to give Ahmad a shout. The amount of times he dug us out of a hole last season. Yeah. Ahmad came in like clutch like a lot of the times. So,
100%. What do we think, people in the chat? Most clutch player for Manchester United ever. T2 saying Cantona of all time, Bruno of this period. It's very interesting. The amount of 1-0s Eric got in our title-winning seasons was insane. Ronnie missed a pen in the final. Come on. How many penalties has he scored in finals and semi-finals? Like, you can allow him one, I think.
Nobody's got 100% hit rate. Everybody's missed a penalty.
Yes, like, agreed.
I think even Bruno's like he's got 90. I think it's like 94%. So even he's missed a few.
Yeah. All right, there's one question I really want to do on this, because I hope it's like they save it to last, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Right, we're giving it a spin. Let's see what we land on. Oh, this is a good one. Most overrated player in Man United's history. This should be fun.
It's Alexis Sanchez, isn't it?
He's in the conversation. 100%.
Had a fantastic season at Arsenal. Was one of the best players in the Premier League at the time. City wanted him. They were big in for him. We paid huge wages for him, 400k a week. He had that massive announcement video with the piano. Everybody was expecting the biggest thing, and he fell on his ass completely. And it took us about 3 years to get rid of him. He's up there. I think Sancho, that could be another one.
Do you think this is overrated though? Because at the time when Sanchez was at Arsenal and Sancho was at Dortmund,
they were both great players. That's what I'm saying. So the expectation, to me, overrated means they were at a level that everybody expected them to come in and be fantastic, and they fell completely.
The reason why I say it is because another question is most disappointing signing. So I think that might fall into a similar bracket. But you can go with that if you want. But I mean, is it okay?
I wasn't disappointed by Sanchez. I've got another one personal for me. That's it. Sanchez, I think, was hyped up to be something special, and just didn't happen.
Fair enough. Let us know everyone else in the comment section as well. Remember, live or watching later on, it's absolutely fine.
What would you say? Who would you pick?
I think Paul Pogba, because I think Paul Pogba
that's a good
had
one.
all the ability in the world, and the constant noise that surrounded him it didn't feel worth it, did it? The headlines.
It was 3 games, wasn't it? If we got out of him, 3 games, and then
there was more headlines than it was him actually gripping the game.
Yeah.
And whenever anyone spoke about Paul Pogba, it was always but for France, with Kante and Mbappe and all these players, he's incredible and blah, blah, blah.
It was always you have to build the right people around him to get the best out of him. It's what's the point in having him then?
Yeah.
He's supposed to come in best player. What are we doing?
Yeah. It cost a lot of money. We made absolutely nothing back. It was turned into a disaster. He had his own fan cult, and you could have swore, the people who defended him on social media, you could have swore this was a guy who'd won the Ballon d'Or fucking a million times, the way they went on about him, honestly. So, most overrated player for me is Paul Pogba. He was very, very good, but nowhere near consistently enough.
There's so many players United have got whose ability was top of the top, but just he never saw it at United. You just never saw it.
Yeah, agreed. Any in the chat? What we're saying? Falcao. Wow, Radamel Falcao.
He is on my. He'd be in the conversation with my most disappointing, because I was convinced he was going to work. I was convinced of it.
Yeah,
didn't.
And what a player, by the way, as well. Back in was coming up in the Portuguese leagues, and he went over to Spain. Yeah, just top talent. I'd go with Pogba. Great shout. He had all the talent, but poor mentality. Mad to say about a World Cup winner. One thing I will say about Paul Pogba, the assist that he got for Olivier Giroud, I think it was, is one of the greatest assists. I think that cross. Oh my God.
For France, he was one of the best midfielders I've seen.
Yeah.
He's phenomenal.
Top.
For France, he's up there with some of the best, Zidane and stuff like that. But for United, never saw it.
100%. Right, next up on the Real Reds Roulette question is... Oh, is it going to go over just to that one? Oh, that's split in between there. Best United debut, do we think? Best year, or something that a player that made you feel as soon as you saw him, you was like, wow, incredible.
I mean, can you discount Wayne Rooney with a hat trick?
Yeah, is it
is there a better one?
Wayne Rooney?
Yeah. Is there a better one? Do you know what I mean? That's that's up there. I think can't think of a better one.
No, you've got Rashford. Obviously, you've got a brace against Midtjylland as well. Obviously, came on the young Rashford, hungry. How times have changed. Trying to think of any others.
Makeda's a shout. He won us a league. Basically, came on against Villa.
Yeah,
scored the winner. That's another good one.
But Wayne Rooney. Yeah. You remember when he was walking in with his fucking collar cut, because his neck's too fat, basically, too thick, and he's just bullying everyone. Even at the Euros, he's coming up against people like Thuram and Zidane, and he's fucking pushing him off the ball. It's an 18-year-old kid. The fuck are you feeding him? Mental. Yeah, we'll go with that.
TTO, Josh Harrop.
What a shout. What a shout.
Fucking
Josh
hell.
Harrop. What a
Fucking
throwback as well.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I know.
Be right about that. Yeah. Any other shouts, please do get them in the comment section. Sam, if you could keep an eye on the comment section.
Yeah.
And go
I've
through.
just seen as well. Kenneth has said George Best. I wasn't there. I haven't seen it. So I'll take your word for it, Kenneth, because obviously I wasn't alive at the time, but I'll take your word for it.
Absolutely. Okay. Let's spin the wheel again. And we get... Oh, this is a good one. You'll like this one, Sam. Cult Hero.
Oh, there's a few, isn't there?
Cool, there's definitely a few. I think I could probably guess yours, but I'll let you go.
There's a couple I would throw in there. So I think Cavani, you got to throw in there.
Oh, I didn't expect you to go with Cavani, but yeah.
Cavani, he had a song. He had a song. The sort of stature of him and some of the goals he scored, I think, were excellent. Like that game against Southampton where he came off the bench and basically
2 goals,
the game,
the brace.
Like fantastic.
Proper poacher.
Iconic celebration.
Yeah.
I think he's up there.
The halfway line goal as well, don't forget.
Halfway line goal as well. Yeah,
incredible.
Fantastic. He had fight in him as well. Like he'd kick off with people.
Spirit.
And the chant. Can we bring it back just for the chant? Because I really enjoyed that.
Have I told you a story about the chant?
Go on.
Do you remember when we got the game called off against Liverpool?
Yes.
So on the way out of the stadium, allegedly, we were doing like chants and stuff, and obviously Cavani's chant was "Give it, Cavani," da, 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 da. And then it's obviously in the ABBA song you've got do 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 like that bit after it. So we was all singing that song. Everyone stopped, and I was the only one who did that. Do, 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 and I felt like an absolute fucking idiot. And it sat with me. But yeah, the song for Cavani and him as a player, incredible.
Yeah. I've got to throw my boy, because you'll know this, Ander Herrera. I've got to throw him as well. I just think for spitting on the City badge, that's iconic. Walking off and spitting on the City badge.
How much he loved United as well.
Yeah. He claims as well that he didn't mean to do that. I call bullshit, Ander. I think you definitely need to do that.
Yeah.
Definitely. And then the marking job he did on Eden Hazard against Chelsea, where he basically followed him to the toilet. That's how he's attached to him. He was. So they'd be my 2 nominations. I'll go with Ander Herrera just because personally he's one of my favourites. So I'll go with him. But Cavani has to be up there as well.
Yeah, Solskjaer's the big one in it that I think would be the most common because obviously 99 and everything. And you've got Park Ji-sung you can chuck in there as well, I think.
I would put him in, if there's an underrated. Thing, I'd put Park in there.
You're in luck. There is an underrated one, so we'll get to that. But I think he's a blend of both. I think fans loved Park Ji-sung as well for the work that he put in tirelessly. I'll go Valencia, right? And the reason why I say Valencia is because he's a very solid player, very consistent, a captain for a bit at Manchester United, and you always knew what you was going to get for him. And he scored some bangers as well. There was one against Everton, I think, and there was a few other kind of long-range ones where I'm like, he's one player you won't say, oh, he's an absolute legend of the club or he's done this or whatever.
No.
But I think cult hero, I'd throw Antonio Valencia in there. And he still loves the club as well. He's another one like Herrera. Yeah. When you ask him about Manchester United now, you can tell he loves the club.
I think as well with Valencia, I'm sure he had the number, he wanted the number 7 jersey at some point, which... Obviously, he never lived up to that number and stuff like that. But the fact that his mentality said, "I want that number," is something to admire. I'd say. Yeah,
100%. Right, keep getting your comments in. Smash like the video for us if you can. We're going to spin the wheel again, and we'll blitz through some of these questions now. We have. Oh, nearly my favorite question. Then we've got. This is an interesting one. Player you hated watching. Sorry.
Why United?
Yeah, hate's quite a strong word, isn't it? But player, maybe, I don't know, he frustrated you? Might be a better kind of terminology to use, perhaps.
Yeah, Nani frustrated me. Nani made me tear my hair. He made me tear my hair out, honest to God. Because you could see the potential, and some of the stuff he did was unbelievable. He scored some ridiculous goals, did some insane stuff on the pitch, but then would just do stupid things on the ball or get himself sent off or just he made me tear my hair out because you were like, this guy is going to be class, and he just never put it together. But I love Nani at the same time. But watching him was like this. I was just like, fucking he was frustrating, beyond frustrating.
someone who I'd put in a similar category, and not in terms of ability, but Andreas Pereira. Because Andreas Pereira would sell you a fucking dream in pre-season. He'd work miracles in pre-season, and then when it came to the actual season, he fucking went missing. So I think Andreas Pereira was one. Like, it's not like I hated watching him play football, but it's because he did things that, like, he'd score a 40-yard banger, and you'd be like, oh my god, what a fucking player. And then when it actually mattered, didn't really do much. So yeah, right. Next up, we're getting there now. We've got. I think we're both going to say the same one on this.
Okay.
Players who didn't reach their potential.
How long have he got? Jesus Christ.
But I think there's a big one.
Go on, you say yours first. Let's just see if I was going to say the same thing.
Ravel Morrison.
That is one. That's definitely one.
That's one of the biggest stories at United. You listen to the way Fergie speaks about him, the way other players around the club at the time, the kind of class with Lingard and Pogba and all them. They said Ravel Morrison was the best player in that category. Yeah. So, yeah, I think it's such a shame.
He got so many opportunities at other clubs as well because they saw his talent and they knew how good he was, but he just could never get there. He put Sancho in there. Just never lived up to it, did he? Because he was tearing it to pieces in the Bundesliga. One of the best wide players I've ever seen. Like, you watched him in the Bundesliga, he was amazing. His goals speak for himself. His stats, he was phenomenal. Came to United, never saw it. Just never saw it. And he's gone to Chelsea, didn't really see it. Went back to Dortmund, didn't really see it. And now he might go to Italy, Juve, and you probably won't see it either. It's just, it's a shame, man, because his talent was unbelievable. Unbelievable talent. He's just never got there.
A couple of interesting ones in the chat. Andy Williams saying Januzaj for me. Liam Jones saying Twanzebe. Do you remember that performance Twanzebe had against PSG?
PSG, yeah.
Him and Wan-Bissaka.
I love that. I thought he was going to be something. I thought that this kid's going to do it. Just, never got there. Yeah. Never got there.
Rio has an Unreal interview with Ravel. Fergie gave a glowing report, and Ravel
I've seen it.
We were in tears. Yeah. Such a shame, man. But that's what I mean. That's why you need dedication as much off the pitch as you do on it, and that's why careers don't work out sometimes.
Yeah.
Right, spin the wheel, and we get. Oh, which one's that? Is that going to tick over slightly? Yes, this is my favourite one. Right. Worst haircut in the club history.
Jesus.
And there's been some. There's been a few. So
quite a few bad.
Whilst you're thinking, do you want me to go through a couple?
Go on.
Right, so obviously Bex is, when you think about haircuts...
He's got a few, yeah.
He's synonymous with haircuts, and he is the guy. There was one that he had, and I was looking back at it before, where it's kind of... Go on, which one?
Was it the braids that he had? The cornrows?
No, they were bad. I forgot about them, actually. They were really, really bad. Yeah, it was like he had a shaved head with a bit of a... Like an alien ant farm, was it? Like a bit of a... like a really
shit mohawk.
Yeah, like a shit. It looked like someone stuck a strip on his head there like that. It was terrible.
That. Yeah.
That is one that I would throw up there. There was one with early Cristiano where he had braids, like 4 or 5 braids.
Was it the noodle hair?
And a bit of noodle at the back. It was.
Yeah.
But his noodle haircut as well, it was shocking. So they're the ones that I would chuck. And Garnacho, sorry, when he dyed his hair blonde. I thought that looked terrible. Yeah.
The noodle hair with Ronaldo, that was bad. Rio, when he did braids as well, and it looked fucking bizarre on him. Like, it looked really weird. Like, I don't understand what he was trying to do. And I think it lasted a week, and I think Fergie told him, take them out. Like, you're not wearing that. And he ended up just with the shaved head then for the rest of his time at United. But yeah, Ronaldo, I go with Beckham with the braids because I thought that was stupid. That's absolutely ridiculous.
Honourable mention to the United Strand. If anyone don't know the United Strand is a dude who is growing his hair until United basically win 5 games in a row, I think it is, and then he's going to cut it.
He's going to be a while. It's going to be a while.
Right now, his hair is like, it's moving mad. It looks like Alex from Madagascar. For anyone who's seen that film, will get that reference. Very, very bushy hair. Pogba at City, blue hair. Do you remember that? Because weren't there loads of talks with Nino Raiola about him moving, and then he dyed his hair, and then scored 2 goals in that game as well, I think. Was it 2?
Yeah.
I think it was 2, wasn't it? Because Chris Smalling scored 1, There was a really good goal with Herrera, Alexis Sanchez, and Pogba. I think like a combination. And I'm sure Pogba scored the other one as well, maybe off a set piece from Alexis Sanchez.
I remember when before Rooney got his hair transplant and he basically bicked his head, and he just had this pale white skinhead and looked like a fucking.
A hooligan.
He looked like a Nazi skinhead, didn't he? Like he was gonna beat up like a buzz. He just looked. He looked insane.
And he played
like
that as well. To be honest with you,
yeah.
He
was like, imagine walking out of pitch and seeing him. You'd be like, "Fuck off!" Like
that was a proper prison cut. That wasn't it? It's like he just done it with his own fucking sellotape or something.
Yeah. Like a orange plastic Bic razor and just fucking
yeah.
Mad.
Right, next up. We've got about 5 or 6 questions left, so we will quick fire a couple of these ones. Please do keep getting involved in the chat because there's some funny answers in there. We have, Sam, we've got player who flopped, but you still rated. So didn't necessarily do well, but you still rated him as a player. Oh,
Kagawa.
Nice. I like that one. Yeah. Shinji Kagawa.
Was fantastic at Dortmund. Absolutely loved it. Like, enjoyed watching him. And then came to United. And he wasn't shit at United. And he
had his moments.
Absolutely, he had a few things, but he just never came together. He lasted like 2-3 years and then went back. And he still loves United. Like there was a picture of him recently in a United shirt, and he still loves United and his thing. There's a shout. I don't know if you've got to pick this person in the thing, but people in the chat have picked it. I'll let you say yours, and then I'll say the one in the chat, see if it's the same.
Yeah. So mine was actually really obscure and different because I tried thinking of ones who have gone on to do well, who I like watching, but didn't necessarily work at United. And Wilfried Zaha was one of the names that popped up because obviously something went on with him and Moyes. Was he coming out with Moyes' daughter or something? Was that true?
Apparently, that's the rumor.
It's something like that, wasn't it? I don't know if it's actually true or not. But then whenever I've watched Wilfried Zaha, similar to like Eze for Palace, whenever he played, it's just exciting, isn't it? Yeah. Just one of those players. He's a bit of a whingy ass, but as an actual player, I thought he was really, really good. So yeah, still I liked him, but he flopped at United.
The chat has got a great shout. Veron.
Yeah.
What a shout that is.
Yeah.
That is a fantastic shout.
Thing is with Veron, so you would have been around 17, 18, is that right? When Veron would have been playing? I would have been about 10, 11. So I can't appreciate him as much at the time. Obviously, I still remember him playing and stuff, but the way I watch football now, in comparison to the way I used to watch football when I was 10, 11, it's completely different. So
I think Dad took us to a game when Varane, not you, he took me to a game when Varane was playing. And we sat behind this old guy who obviously had been going to United for like 50 odd years. Yeah. And the crowd were getting on Varane's back because of like the season he's had. And he was turning around and shouting at people saying, "Leave Sabra alone, like leave him alone, like get off his back," and stuff, like proper defending him and stuff. But Varane's a top shout, chat. Very good shout.
100%. Okay, next up, we get one season wonder, Sam. Player who's either just signed for us or has had one really, really good, purple patch of a season. I mean, people might chuck Rashford in there as the 30-goal one. I
mean, he's had two, hasn't he? He's
had a few. He's had a few good seasons at the club, you would say. I mean, a bit harsh there, but just making more of a joke out of it.
This might be risky, but RVP?
Oh.
Won as a league, and then afterwards just... He was injured, wasn't he? Like most of the season after.
He was still all right after it.
He was all right, but like he did
obviously
score the amount of goals he won as a league. Do you know what I mean? Like,
and also that's bad timing as well. Like with Fergie leaving, wasn't it?
The season before, like Fergie was like, "You pass to him or you don't play." Like that's what happens.
Yeah.
And he won as a league. Like this guy's gonna win as a league, and he did. And then the next season just didn't work, did it? Like just didn't happen.
I would go with Zlatan. And the reason why I go with Zlatan is because 29 goals, 53 games. He won the Europa League with us, helped us win the Europa League. Yeah. Then it was a period where he scored a hat-trick against Saint Etienne, a very close game in like the build-up. There was the Southampton final where he scored as well in the cup final. Like he's someone who just wins trophies. And then obviously he had that massive knee injury, didn't he? Which kind of ruled him out. So... yeah, I think Zlatan Ibrahimovic I would definitely put it. And it's a shame as well because I would actually put Zlatan in the same category as one of the best signings post-Fergie. I think him, Bruno, Ronaldo, first season, I would put all them in kind of similar conversation for me.
You could put Zlatan in cult hero as well, I think. I think he would fit the cult hero vibe as well because obviously a legendary player, played for all the top clubs in the world, won everything there is to win, but he wasn't at his height at United, I would say. Like, he was still good and he still offered, but he just wasn't at his
we
best,
signed a great striker past the age of 30, Cavani, Ronaldo,
Yeah.
Zlatan, like, so, yeah. Let us know, people. We've got 4 left, 5 left, 4 or 5. Okay, we'll quick fire this one. Oh, can we quick fire it? Most underrated United player, in your humble opinion?
Ji-sung Park.
Straight off the bat, Ji-sung Park.
That guy is underrated to a fault. I know people are starting to talk about him now, but the guy, people call him Three Lungs, is a reason. The guy didn't stop ever.
Yeah.
Like, you never saw him with his hands on his knees or him taking a rest or something. Can you move out the camera, please? They can't.
I think he wants. I think Mochi wants to say.
I know
Who it is.
Yeah, he was never his hands on his knees. He basically, Fergie admitted that if he played him in the Champions League, we probably might have won it because he would have put him on Messi. And then he didn't, and we ended up getting battered by Barcelona. So yeah, Ji-sung Park is phenomenal, like unbelievable player, and I think deserves to be talked about way more than he is.
Yeah, can we chuck Michael Carrick in there as well?
Yes,
I think,
absolutely,
as an underrated player.
Absolutely.
Deserved more games for England. It was someone, when you watch him, who we could probably use with right now desperately. Just brought really good balance. Was a bit of a quarterback. Could do all types of like kind of different passes, whether it was like switches, long range, disguised ones through the lines.
You couldn't get him off the ball either. Like when you tried to get there, because his positioning was so good. By the time a player would get to him, he was already gone, and the pass was on. Like he was so good at it.
Yeah, read the game extremely well as well. Really intelligent player. Incredibly intelligent.
If you look at the history of United midfielders, obviously people talk about Scholes, Keane, and stuff like that. But I think Michael Carrick has to be in that conversation as well. Yeah. Like I think he's definitely highly underrated.
I think if you look at the people who've spoken about him, so I think Pirlo, Xavi Alonso, Sir Alex Ferguson, a couple of Spanish, the way they speak about Michael Carrick is like extremely glowing.
He's a La Liga player, but he just happens to be from the northeast in England, doesn't he? Like he is a technical midfielder. That is what he is. Yeah.
The English Busquets, I've heard before. I would definitely check that out there. Carrick was massive as well. Parker's gone the other way now. Everyone talks about how underrated he was. He might actually be overrated now. Wow, big shout from Liam. Andy Cole, I think
Andy Cole's a good shout. Andy Cole
Jay would back that
deserves
one.
to have credit for who he is, because the goals he scored and the records he had, and everybody still talks about Alan Shearer and stuff like that, but nobody talks about Andy Cole.
Yeah.
Like, he won a treble. The guy won as a treble. He's a fucking treble winner. Come on.
The non-penalty thing as well.
Like, insane.
Yeah. Okay. Next up, we have best player sold too soon. That is the category.
I mean, the obvious answer is Ronaldo, isn't it? That's the obvious one.
Yeah. That. I mean, you can have that one if you want that one.
Yeah, but maybe that's the too obvious answer.
Pogba to Juventus?
Well, he went for free, didn't he? We didn't even sell him.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, oh yeah, can you say sold if he went on a free? You're not technically sold.
Like,
Danny Welbeck?
I think that he was injury prone at the time, though, wasn't he? Like, he was getting a lot of injuries. Like,
you look at the career he's had, though. What he's gone on to do.
It's fantastic. He's
pretty
great.
Impressive, isn't it?
Yapstam.
Yes, fantastic shout. That one. That is.
He would have stayed had Fergie not fallen out with him. He would be like a United legend. But
and what he did at Milan as well, obviously incredible at Milan.
But again, Fergie said he didn't regret letting anyone go except Yapstam. That was the only one he regretted.
Yeah. Any shouts in the chat? Ronnie is obvious, but I'd go with Stam. People comparing Cole to Darwin. Carrick was massive
comparing
as well.
Andy Cole to Darwin Núñez? Fuck off.
Yeah, just
different categories, complete like different galaxies. These two players, Anderson doesn't get the love he deserves. I never rated Anderson. I didn't rate Anderson, but
next up we've got best United Academy graduate, and his only I'll just answer it straight away. It's Ryan Giggs.
Yeah, there you go.
Ryan Giggs straight off the bat. Yep. Let me just get that rid off the wheel, and we've got. And I'm not even listening to any comments on that, by the way. The most decorated British player in history, 960 games. Yeah.
Most appearances for United ever. Yeah. And he managed us as well. I know it was a short period, but he managed us as well. So
player you would bring back right now?
Oh, Roy Keane.
I had the same answer, the exact same answer.
Just sort that midfield out, belt a couple of people in the face and tell them to sort the shit out and get a grip of it. Like Roy Keane, all day, every day.
Yep. And the last one we've got, Sam, is most disappointing. I'll spin it anyway, even though it's absolutely pointless. But most disappointing signing we've got.
Falcao, that was disappointing.
Is that more like a personal thing for you, would you say?
Yeah, I was convinced he was going to be a fantastic player. I thought he was going to be amazing and just never was. Like, just never became that player that we saw in Spain.
Yeah.
Kago was up there as well, but I've already used him. I'm trying to think of who else that I thought would work.
T2's just put best academy graduate, not the best brother. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, good point. Good point.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah, if we're picking best family members, he's definitely making a cut, is he?
Yeah. Right, most disappointing signing. So Falcao. Any others that you want to count there before I go for the last one?
Nah, yeah, you go for it.
I was torn between two. So Di Maria was the one I think I've gone with because
I think he was good. He was good, but he just hated being. He didn't want to be here, did he? Like that was his thing.
How it worked out more for me, which is why I was pretty gutted because you look at Di Maria when he was at Real Madrid just before he signed for Manchester United in the Champions League campaign. There was games against like Schalke, Dortmund, Bayern Munich as well. I think where he won man of the match performances. He was a clutch player for him, like incredible. So when United signed him, you think about a DNA of a United winger who gets you up off your feet. Di Maria was that, like, it's a class player, very creative. And then when he came, it was like he did that chip. Do you remember the goal, the chip against Leicester? And you're like, oh my God, like he was in love instantly. And then because it panned out how it did, with his wife moaning, he didn't
want to be here. Like you could tell when we bought him, he just didn't want to be here. Like Real Madrid were forcing him out. He wanted to go to PSG. They didn't come in for him, and he had to go. And he did. He was playing for Van Gaal. It's like the worst player Van Gaal could sign is a player like Di Maria, like a maverick who like marches to the beat of his own drum in a very structured system. Like it just didn't work at all. That.
I take the point that he was decent for us, but I don't know. It still sits with me for a while now. Even though he's a snake and the way he acted after some of the game. Remember the PSG game where Ashley Young shoved him into the sides. Like there's hatred there for him, but it is what it is.
If Di Maria came into Ollie's team, he would have been phenomenal.
Oh yeah,
like in that transition counter-attack team, he'd been amazing. But in a Van Gaal team, it was stupid, just stupid signing.
Yeah, absolutely agree with that. I'm just double checking the news before we head off. Oh no, Al Hilal have inquired about United link striker Moises Keane. He's got a £44 million release clause. Someone who didn't make it at Everton.
What are we gonna do? What will we do?
I'm gutted, genuinely heartbroken, as you can see from my face. Right. We shall leave it at that, people. Like we said, the news was a little bit light today, so we decided to do something. Switch up, something slightly different. That's what content creation is all about. If you've enjoyed the show, please do smash a like on the video. Subscribe to Real Reds Talk. And for any updates for pre-season, transfers, anything at all, bottom right corner of your screen, right there where my finger is, X, Instagram, TikTok. Drop us a follow. And me and Sam will see you guys in the next one. We're going to go film a members video as well, so that'll be dropping in a couple of days' time. If you want to become a member, click the join button next to the notification bell. And I think that's everything, Sam.
Yeah.
I think, awesome. Right.